Okay, so like imagine right now you could hop in a time machine
Oh, yeah.
and zoom back to the beginning of last year.
Like January 2024?
Exactly, January 2024.
Okay.
And you could tell yourself like just one thing, knowing everything that you know now.
That's a good question.
What would it be?
Whoa!
And that's kind of what we're diving into today.
I like that.
With this deep dive, we're going to be checking out the plan for this New Year's episode of The Lost Kids.
Oh, cool.
It's got a ton of really cool ideas about reflecting on the past year so we can make this year the best one yet.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that really struck me about this episode plan is how much it emphasizes reflection before we charge into the new year.
Right.
It's all about taking stock of, what we learned last year,
Mhm.
both like in our own lives and just kind of like in the world around us.
Yeah.
Like those big things that happen that we all experience.
Ups and the downs, the good, the bad.
Exactly. And it's like all of that is valuable information, as we move forward.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the what we accomplished for what we didn't accomplish.
Totally.
But one thing that really caught my eye in this episode plan was, how they talk about challenges
Okay.
and finding like opportunity in the stuff that maybe didn't go so well.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, so like I had this goal last year of like finally learning to play guitar,
Nice.
which I have not done.
No, I'm not.
Hit a wall big time.
Hmm.
But this plan, it actually like talks about reframing obstacles as learning experiences.
Right.
So I'm curious, did anything like jump out at you when you were looking at that part of the episode plan?
Yeah, totally. I mean, they suggest like asking ourselves this question.
Okay.
What felt really tough last year? And what did I actually learn from it? And it's not about like dwelling on the negative or anything.
Right.
It's about actually extracting, those insights, those little nuggets of wisdom that can help us grow from those experiences.
Yeah, so like in my guitar example,
Oh, yeah.
maybe hitting that wall
Yeah.
showed me that I needed like a more structured practice, or maybe I need to find a different teacher, like someone who really matches my learning style.
Totally. I love that. And it's like you said, it's not just about looking back. It's about actually using that information, to move forward.
Totally.
And, they don't just leave us hanging in the land of reflection.
Yeah.
They actually give us some steps to take to plan for the year ahead.
Right.
And this is the part, I think, that will be really useful for a lot of people listening.
I know I need it.
Yeah.
They talk about, achievable goals.
Yeah.
And like, I am the queen of setting these vague resolutions
Oh, tell me about it.
that just like fizzle out by February.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about how they approach goal setting.
Yeah, I think they really nailed it with this idea of achievable goals.
Okay.
So it's like taking those big dreams, those big aspirations,
Yeah.
and breaking them down into smaller steps that you can actually take.
Yeah.
Like you can actually do these things.
Yeah.
So instead of saying, I want to be healthier this year,
Which is what I always say.
right, like what does that even mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
instead it's like, okay,
Yeah.
what's one specific change I can make to my diet this week? Or like, how can I fit in 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week?
Okay.
It's about making like a roadmap
Yeah.
with clear milestones that you can actually hit.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
And it really ties into the idea of a growth mindset too,
Oh, totally.
which the episode plan talks about.
Yeah.
It's not about being perfect.
Yeah, not at all.
It's about embracing, the whole process,
Yeah,
learning from our mistakes
totally.
and just like, constantly trying to be a little bit better.
Absolutely. It's like progress over perfection,
Uh-huh.
And the plan really reminds us that change happens gradually. It's
Wow.
about that consistent effort that we put in
Yeah.
and being willing to adapt, if things aren't working.
Absolutely. And like while we're all like striving and like,
Yeah.
really pushing toward those goals, we can't forget to like take care of ourselves.
Well, yeah, right.
Self-care.
Yeah, the episode plan like really highlights that prioritizing our well-being is super important, both mental and physical. You can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't run on empty.
No, you can't.
So they suggest like actually building self-care practices into our routine,
Oh, I like that.
not just as an afterthought,
Yeah.
but as like a core foundation,
Right.
of our lives
Yeah.
that supports our goals and just our general well-being.
Mhm.
So whether it's, getting enough sleep or spending time in nature or whatever it is that brings you joy, really taking care of yourself, that shouldn't be like a maybe.
It's essential.
Yeah, it's essential.
Absolutely. So to kind of help us stay on track throughout the year,
Yeah.
so we don't fall into those old patterns.
Yeah.
They have a few practical tools that they talk about.
Okay. I'm always down for a good tool.
Me too. I'm a huge fan of journaling.
Oh, me too. It's like therapy on paper for me.
It is.
But they also suggest like creating a vision board
Oh, yeah.
or even like scheduling regular check-ins with yourself
Yeah.
to just kind of see like how's it going.
Yeah, it's like a built-in accountability system, you know?
Right.
You're like checking in with yourself,
I love that.
making sure you're on track.
Yeah. And speaking of staying on track and not falling into old habits,
Yeah.
they talk about this idea of carrying forward what worked last year
Okay.
and letting go of the stuff that's not serving us anymore.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's so hard to let go of those old patterns,
It really is.
even when you know they're not doing you any favors.
It's hard to break those habits.
It is.
Yeah.
So I really like how they had these questions, that they suggested we ask ourselves.
Okay, what are they?
Like, what lessons or positive habits from last year should I bring with me into this year? And then, like, just as importantly, what mistakes, negative patterns, or even just beliefs am I ready to, like, let go of?
This powerful stuff.
It's like intentionally choosing what we're bringing into the next chapter.
I love that.
Right. So kind of on that note of bringing stuff forward,
Okay.
there's this idea that they talk about called collective resolutions,
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
which I thought was so interesting.
Yeah.
It's basically this idea that, like,
Right.
what we do individually can actually create, like, a ripple effect
Okay.
and contribute to, like, positive change on a bigger scale.
It's like we're all connected.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
And even those small actions, like
Yeah.
a random act of kindness or, trying to live more sustainably or, standing up for someone who's being treated unfairly.
Right.
All of those things can add up
Yeah.
and make a difference.
It's, like, really inspiring, right?
Yeah,
It makes you realize, like, we all have the power to make a difference.
totally. And, the episode plan ends on this, like, really hopeful note,
Okay?
encouraging us to embrace all the uncertainty
Uh-huh.
and all the potential
Yeah.
that comes with a brand new year.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I have one last question for you inspired by the episode plan.
Hit me?
What's your first step
Ooh.
towards making 2025 your year? I don't know about you, but I'm feeling ready to tackle this year.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
2025 is ours.
Okay, time machine ready.
Amen.
Let's go. Back to the future.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.